So in this video, this is step 2 of creating your landing page, where we're going to go over the rest of the different tabs in the landing page tool. So you can see this is right where we left off in video 1. We have all of our information here. We just saved it to make sure that we got our landing page saved. And now we're going to click over into our Images tab. So our Images tab will allow us to select an image to use on our landing page. All we have to do is click this select button, and it will actually pull up our media manager where we have all our different images on our site. Now, if you're using a previously used image, you could probably search through here and find it. Or if you want to upload a brand new image, you just scroll down and you click this Upload Files button where you can find that image on your computer and click Start Upload. Now that Start Upload will put it right inside of this media manager. Again, just like our naming conventions, I'd highly suggest keeping each one of these folders and each one of your images very organized. So you may want to create folders based off of campaign. You may want to create folders off of categories, maybe types of ebooks or types of landing pages, but keep it very organized. In this case, we're going to just click on this one that I already have up and loaded in here and click the insert button. You can see it populated the image URL after I clicked on it, and I'm going to click insert. Now, the only other field on this tab is the image alt text. And what image alt text is it's essentially a very accurate description of what that image is all about. And this is used, it's used for people that have seeing impairments that, their computers will essentially read the image alt text to them so they know what that image is all about. It also is used for Google search. So Google and Bing and Yahoo, they need to know what that image is all about, and so that's used for here. Now, my word of advice is I would keep it extremely accurate to what the image is and avoid trying to keyword stuff or anything like that. It really won't help you much. And in some cases, it might hurt you. So this is a on-site SEO ebook. So maybe I'll say on-site SEO ebook. And that way, it'll explain exactly what that is. So that's all we have to do in the Images tab. From here, we can move over to the Forms tab. Now in the Forms tab, we're going to start out with our form name. And this is going to be the name that is going to be displayed above the form. So keep in mind that this is publicly facing so that your general public will know exactly what it is. Typically, this is going to be some type of call to action for completing the form. So a good example of this might be load the free ebook. Okay, and so a little kick in the butt and to give them a good flow, like, okay, I've just read all this copy. What do I do next? Oh, I have this form and it's prompting me to download the ebook. Now, this is where our campaign comes into play. So we want to attach this landing page form to a particular lead nurturing email campaign that we're going to create next. And so we're going to attach it to Top Funnel Marketing Mike On-Site SEO. Again, you see it matches the naming convention. If we had multiple campaigns here, you would just find the one that you wanted to associate it to and click on that particular one. Now what happens is after this form is filled out, if there's a lead nurturing campaign associated with the campaign, it will start sending those emails out. And we give you a few different options. So if they convert on another form, so let's say they go on your site, they download your top funnel offer, and then maybe 2 days later they come back and download your middle funnel offer. So the question that this field answers is, should I stop sending the original lead nurturing campaign and start sending the new one based off of the new download they created? Or should I do not send the lead nurturing campaign at all, right? So most of the time, I would highly suggest just simply leaving it at stop this lead nurturing campaign. And that will essentially make sure that your users are not getting too many emails. Okay, now the other option that you have, the second one below this, is what happens if a lead downloads your ebook, your top funnel on-site SEO ebook, and then a year later, they come back and they say, I'll download it again. Should you send them the same lead nurturing campaign? Well, that'll give you the option here. We don't want to send the lead nurturing campaign because they already got it once. There's no real use to having them get it again. And so essentially for both of these fields, you can essentially leave them as is. Now, scrolling down into our form builder, this is where we're going to actually build out our form. Now, stock out of the box for jInbound, you are required to have a first name, last name, and email. We use that information to help associate leads in your contact database. But from there, you can actually add in any of these different fields that you want. And so it's a very easy system. It's simply just a drag and drop. So let's say we wanted their website. We drag it over here and you can see the yellow bar indicating that I want to drop it there. We could do their company name and their phone number. And if you want to change the order of this, all you have to do is drag it up or down and it will very easily allow you to resort those. Now we do have a few different options for custom different form fields. And so let's say I wanted to ask them a particular question. And in this case, let's maybe do it with a radio boxes or little radio icon. So we'll click there. Now, for each one of these fields that I've created, when I click on it, you see how it's indicated by blue, and it switches this little tab over from add a field to field settings. And here's where I'm able to do a little bit of editing. So let's say instead of company name, I wanted to say, company LLC name. For some reason, maybe I want to update what it actually says on the form. And in that case, it will update whatever that field name is on the field. Do I want it required, meaning that the user has to submit it for the form to successfully submit? You can choose yes or no. And then for the custom fields, we're going to go down to our radio box here. And you can see that, again, we have our title and our name. Now, it sounds a little repetitive. Unfortunately, on our end, you have to essentially repeat what each one of these are. The title is what's going to be publicly facing. So let's say I want to say something like, do you use a SEO tool currently? Maybe that's a very big indicator for my business, whether they're a qualified lead or not. And so I want to make sure that they answer that. And so the name is essentially on our back end what we see on the back end of what that field is. So you can actually just copy and paste this. And then that way it will associate it the same. It makes us unfortunately do it twice. Is this required or not? In this case, I'm going to make it required because that's a very important field for us. Now the different options in this case are going to be the different little buttons that they can check. So I'm going to say, yes, I currently use one. And you need to do the same thing here. You need to repeat it both in the title and the value because this is front end and this is back end. Now let's say I wanted to create another option. I'm going to click +1 and it'll drop another option. I'll click no. I'm currently not using an SEO tool. And I'm going to add one more like not sure. Maybe they work in their company and they're not sure if someone else in their organization is currently using one. Now, if you want to resort the order that these are in, you can see these little arrow buttons to push it up or down, depending on how you want to sort these. Okay. Now, if you ever want to add another field, you just go back to the top tab here, click that, and you can go right back into adding different fields in. Now, after the form is created, you want to create some type of submission button text. So this would be at the very bottom, that little button to get them to submit it. Now it depends, there's different theories on different conversion rates and things like that. Now your best bet is to always test and measure. But in this case, because it's an ebook download, I'm going to switch the submit button text to download now. Okay, this big call to action to tell that person to get in there and download now. The second half of this is what to do after the form is submitted. So, do we want to receive a notification of a form submission? Well, yeah, I want to definitely notify maybe our sales team. Maybe I'll want to, if I'm the business owner and I'm doing multiple roles, maybe I'll want to notify them. Depending on what the form is, maybe I want to submit it to our webmaster if it's a comment on the website. And so I'm going to leave this at yes. If you do not need any form notification, just switch it to no. Now, who do you want the notification sent to? So in this case, I want to maybe send it to sales@jInbound.com. jInbound.com. And so anytime this form is submitted, a notification is going to get sent to sales@jInbound.com, letting them know all the form information and that someone new filled out their form. The second half of this is for the user. So after the user submits the form, what do we want them to see? Okay, we have three different options. The first option is simply a message where it will display a inline text box saying, whatever I want. So if I want a message, then I click message to say that's what I want to happen. And I need to drop down into this message field and type in my message to display to them. So it could be something like, thanks for downloading our ebook. We will be sending an email with the link to download. Please check your email. Okay, so in that case, when they submit the form, there's going to be a little success box that pops up and it will display this message to the user. Your other option is, I may want to redirect them to a menu item. Maybe there's a specific menu item. In the case of Joomla, you probably will be creating a thank you page on a hidden menu item, which we'll explain in a later video. And so you're going to click menu item. Maybe I want to redirect them to a consultation page. Maybe I want to redirect them to an about us page. But I click menu item, and then you can see here, it will actually display all of our menus that we have available. And so you're going to go through here and you're going to click on whatever menu item you want to send them to. In this case, I'm going to send them to level 3 menu item. Okay. And the last part of this, the last little thing you can do is maybe you want to send them to a specific URL. And so this is really common if you're maybe sending them to a third-party site, maybe a link that's not on your website. It's not a menu item. And so you can redirect to a URL. And in this case, you can type in that URL right in this area. So maybe I want to send them to some information on a blog. So blog.com/awesome, blog, whatever that URL might be. Now that is all I need to do to finish up my form. From there, I would highly, highly suggest, after putting in all that information, I would highly suggest clicking the save button, making sure that it saves everything you just did. And then from there, we can actually jump over to our SEO, which this we're going to cover in the third video of how to create a landing page successfully.